Welcome back, everybody. It's Joseph here for Zenny62. This is my review and thoughts about Disney's new Jungle Cruise, the movie. So as you can see behind it, this is my personal jungle. And what I want to talk to you about before I get into the movie is take away some of the positive things from Jungle Cruise. One, Emily Blunt. Two, one of her co-stars, I think it was Michael or Alex Whitehall, who plays her brother in the movie. Those two had great comedic chemistry together. I would recommend doing another movie with him in the future. Second, the start of the movie got me excited. You know, it was reminiscent to somewhat of a Indiana Jones-esque type of feel to it. You also had Jesse Plemons, who plays this German aristocrat. I guess he was a predecessor before there was Nazis. Looking for the whole theory, or the whole storyline, is that you have different factions looking for this healing tree, so to speak, kind of like the tree of life that's been hunted down by civilizations throughout history. And Emily Blunt's in search of this, as well as her brother, and they charter a boat trying to look for this magical tree, healing tree, so to speak. Now, those are some positive things. The negative is that this movie doesn't know what it wants to be. It doesn't know if it wants to be Indiana Jones, going back old school, a Romance in the Stone, or Pirates of the Caribbean. And it seems like there's a mishmash of different things that are going on. It does look great. The film has a great score. But other than that, the plot really needed a lot of work. The narrative story doesn't work for me. The last third of the movie is horrendous. Like I said, you have these creatures coming out of the woodworks in the jungle that kind of reminiscent of the zombie pirates in the Pirates of the Caribbean. And the other thing that bothered me the most is that we find out later Rock Johnson's character Frank is reincarnated, or was a conquistador, when this healing tree, or this tree, was prominent in their world or in their civilization. And there's a scene, and one of the things I didn't like was The Rock playing a Spanish conquistador. I don't buy that. Didn't buy it. Very little people bought it in the screening. First of all, he doesn't say the words in Spanish properly, and he's supposed to be a Spanish conquistador. And if you know through history that Spanish conquistadors were slight people. The average height of an average Spanish conquistador is about 5'6", 5'7". The Rock is taller. The weight difference, I mean, The Rock is roided out, right? We know that he's a bodybuilder. He's used steroids in the past, and it still looks pretty big to me. And he's supposed to be a Spanish conquistador. Doesn't look like a Spanish conquistador, doesn't talk like a Spanish conquistador, and he doesn't pull it off, if you ask me. They are in the jungle, which is supposed to have native tribesmen who basically are just folly in this movie. To the fact anybody could play any role, but at least learn the language of the character you're portraying. His Spanish wasn't very good. Him being a Spanish conquistador, I didn't buy. And so throughout this movie, there's elements, like I said, are good. The CGI is horrible. It looks like something that was done in the early 2000s or the late 90s. Emily Blunt and The Rock seem to have decent chemistry, but for me, the big comedic chemistry that I enjoyed most is the actor Michael or Alex Whitehall, can't remember his first name, and Emily Blunt. So what I would recommend is that you go see this movie at a bargain day, a $6 Tuesday. It's not something that I could recommend. I know they want to make this into a franchise film, but if you're a fan of the Jungle Cruise at Disneyland, this has very little to do with the ride, and it seems like they could have did a better job writing the script. Obviously they didn't, and that was very disappointing. Other than that, like I said, it's not much to talk about here. And the other reason why I didn't like this movie, and I was so eager to do this review is that I went with a 12-year-old nephew, and when we voiced our opinions, The Rock purposely did not want to address us, didn't acknowledge us while he went around the rest of the screening room, said hi to everybody, shook their hands. That's the other reason I'm going to give it a bad review, is that don't be a sore loser when your film doesn't work and you're asking the screening audience to give their reviews and thoughts about the movie. That's why there's a screening, and that's why you ask for a critique. Keep it here on Zenny62, and don't forget to like and subscribe.